Author Rania Dewi hosts a book signing event for her new book, Period. Why not period with a T? Her publisher, Hendra Ono, expresses his concern that it won't get the same love as her previous book, Poems in Pain, as its storytelling is more explorative. But since he treats her like a sister and is supportive, he tells her not to worry. He then tells her that he's hoping she'll write a sequel to Poems in Pain. Rania isn't worried that Period will perform poorly. However, the 50 seats they prepared don't get filled, and a male attendee tells her that her book is confusing to him, asking her if she's more concerned about getting recognition from readers or from critics. She tells him that she's not trying to get recognition from anyone, and that writing for her is like breathing, as it keeps her feeling alive. Soon, the attendees ask her to sign their copy of Poems in Pain, not Period, and no one buys a copy of Period that's available at the event. After Period's multiple unfavorable reviews, Hendra once again suggests to Rania that she write the sequel to Poems in Pain because it's what her readers love, and she got bills, gotta pay them automobiles. She tells him that she doesn't want to because she wants to leave the exploitative popcorn writing scene, but he tells her to just give her readers what they want. Rania watches the old video she recorded while writing Poems in Pain, where the main character is Laura Sandini, a woman who just realized after 2 months of marriage that her husband is abusive and possessive, and she was locked in the basement. In the videos, Rania mentioned that she fell asleep while writing, and when she woke up, she felt the same pain Lars was experiencing, as if she was the one receiving the beating from Laris's husband, and she discovered that she had written 10 pages, including the abuse scenes. As this was a recurring thing, she did some research and discovered that some writers experience such because they were emotionally attached to their characters. Girl, that's what they call schizophrenia. Rania can't help but smile when she gets to the video where she was so happy because her novel has been a bestseller for the past 7 months, allowing her to purchase a new laptop and a new camera. After receiving an email informing her that her mortgage application has been rejected, Rania calls Hendra to inform him that she agrees to write the sequel, and she asks for an advance payment. Rania begins to write the sequel, but unfortunately experiences writer's block. She falls asleep on her desk, and when she wakes up the next morning and bathes, she discovers painful bruises on her back. Since she has experienced mysterious pain before, she rushes to her laptop and discovers that she has written 30 pages, including abuse scenes and the main character having a bruise on her back. Rania meets Hendra to inform him that she wants to cancel the sequel, but since she writes in a Google Drive document he can fully access, he is able to read it, and he tells her that he and his colleagues find it great. She tells him that domestic violence is a serious matter and is not meant to be entertaining, unless it's in a Tyler Perry movie, but he convinces her to write what her readers can relate to. Otherwise, she'll lose readers and become irrelevant. That night, while talking to Hendra on the phone, Rania sets up a camera on her desk so that Hendra can watch her while she's writing and instructs him to call her if he sees her doing anything weird or strange. A confused Hendra reluctantly agrees, and Rania hangs up and starts writing. Soon, her body straightens and she looks up with her eyes going all white, and she starts typing rapidly as if she is possessed. That's what I look like getting dicked down. Upon writing a scene where Laris's husband is choking Laris, choking marks start appearing on Rania's neck. Hendra sees this and calls her, but Rania has been pulled into Laris's world as if she has taken over Laris's consciousness. In Rania's point of view, Laris's husband is choking her, and when he leaves the basement, she calls her daughter, Asti, who's scared and is hiding behind the kitchen counter, and she tells her that she'll make dinner for her. Hendra arrives at Rania's house and shakes her, bringing her back to her senses. Rania checks her laptop and discovers that she has written 11 more pages. She reveals to Hendra that when she was writing the first book, she only experienced pain. But since she started writing the sequel, she has begun experiencing Laris's abuse firsthand, prompting her to get real bruises. Worried that things will get worse, Hendra tells her to stop writing and just keep the payment for her future books. But she tells him that she thinks Laris and her experiences are real, and she wants to help Laris. Rania resumes writing the sequel, prompting her to once again get pulled into Laris's world, where she exists as Laris. In the locked basement, Asti asks Laris to tell her the story about when her husband gave her the ring and if he was a kind man then. While assuring Asti that her husband loves them, Laris notices that the ring is not on her finger. She panics and frantically looks for it, asking Asti to help her find it before her husband arrives. Unfortunately, her husband arrives home and discovers that she lost the ring he gave her. Assuming that she took it off because she doesn't want to be married to him anymore, he starts beating her. Honestly, the husband shouldn't be shocked if no one wants to be married to his ugly ass. With Rania urging Laris to fight back, Laris injures her husband's hand using Asti's pencil, causing him to get more furious and beat her more. The next morning, Rania wakes up with more bruises and aching from pain, and she learns that her sequel now has 55 pages. Hendra takes Rania to his doctor boyfriend, who tells them that she has some bruising on her ribs. Although her skull is fine, he strongly suggests undergoing an MRI to be sure, but Rania tells him she's claustrophobic. He asks Rania about the culprit's identity, wanting to report the crime, but she tells him that no one did it to her, and she assures him that Hendra will monitor her. He prescribes bed rest and a painkiller, and tells her to return after 2 days. Worried, Hendra urges Rania to stop writing, but she is determined to find a way to see what Laris looks like to figure out who she is. At Rania's house, Rania resumes writing, prompting her to get pulled into Laris's world, after asking Hendra to keep an eye on her and only intervene if she's in serious danger. Asti, who's lying on Laris's lap, asks Laris about death because she's afraid her dad will kill them. As Laris assures her that she'll grow up and will have a beautiful future, Rania asks Laris who she is. Laris looks for a mirror, and when she sees her reflection on a puddle of water under its sink, Rania discovers that Laris looks exactly like her. Rania awakens, and Hendra immediately comes to her aid, asking her what happened. He soon drives her to her parents' house, and on the way there, she shares that she last saw her parents 12 years ago. She was driving her friend's car with her older brother, Rama, and she accidentally drove into a tree, resulting in Rama's death. Rama was her parents' favorite, as he was not a mess like her, and they never forgave her. Rania's parents reveal that she has a twin sister, and they were both put up for adoption as they were having money problems, and they were scared that they wouldn't be able to take care of them. A year later, they regretted their decision and looked for them, but she was the only one they found. They continued looking for her twin until a few years ago, even hiring someone to find her, but their efforts were unsuccessful. After Rania scoffs at the fact that they never gave Rama away, her mother tearfully apologizes to her for how they treated her. Hendra drives Rania home. Deciding to resume writing so she can find her twin, Rania thanks Hendra for supporting her through everything and tells him she loves him, which worries him because she sounds like she's about to die. Rania resumes writing and she's pulled again into Laris's world. A sick Asti asks Laris if she can escape the basement if she dies. Laris assures her that she won't die, and she goes to bang on the door to call her husband. When he comes down, she informs him that Asti is sick and begs him to take her to the hospital, but he refuses because Asti is undocumented, insisting that she give Asti something from the medicine cabinet. He tells Laris to stop being dramatic, and he starts beating her after she talks back to him. With Rania's encouragement, Laris fights back. Laris says Agartha, and a door to another world opens. When she asks him what Agartha is, he asks her who she is, certain that she is not Laris. He experiences pain in his eyes, which fall off, leaving him with entirely black eyes. After he leaves the basement, Laris runs to Asti and finds a small badge that says Ministry of State-Owned Enterprises. Rania awakens and asks Hendra to drive her downtown, taking her laptop with her. En route, she looks up the Ministry of State-Owned Enterprises list of staff and finds a picture of Laris's husband with the name Adrian Racasa. She looks up his social media account, and in the photo of him with his wife and 2 children, Rania finds his address in the background. Since Adrian's residence is 34 minutes away, Rania asks Hendra to drive fast while she resumes writing to return to Laris's world to stall Adrian, attempting to prevent Laris's and Asti's death. Laris begs a dying Asti not to leave her. Shortly after, Adrian comes down with a hammer, and knowing that someone has taken over Laris's consciousness, he demands to know who she is. After Rania says his name and occupation, telling him what she knows about him to threaten him, he strikes her. Hendra wakes Rania up, informing her that they have arrived at Adrian's house. They barge into his house, and Adrian comes out of his home office. Hendra threatens to shoot Adrian and his family to keep them in one place, while Rania looks for Laris in Adrian's home office. Adrian taunts Hendra and tells him that the law doesn't apply to him. Rania finds the basement door under a round rug, and upon entering it, she finds a bloody, dying Laris. She introduces herself as her twin, and Laris tells her that she often dreamt of her, but thought she was just a version of her who was free. When Rania tells her that she'll get them out, Laris tells her that if she gets out, they'll all die as Adrian is worse than a devil. Laris thanks Rania and dies in her arms. Rania carries Asti out and tells Adrian that he will pay for what he has done. As Rania, Hendra, and Asti leave, Adrian's wife asks Adrian who they are. Days after, as Rania loads their luggage in their car, about to move away to start a new life with Asti, Hendra informs her that Adrian was not arrested because the cops were not able to find any evidence. She rushes to Adrian's house, where she argues with the cops, trying to prove Adrian's guilt. To her horror, she discovers that Adrian's home office now has a completely different interior, that she even fails to find the secret door. A furious Rania walks out, determined to make Adrian pay. And that's the end of the episode. What did you guys think of this one?
Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like. It really helps the channel.